Hey guys, this is Jason out here in Colorado. I'm building an Alpine shelter, which is more or less a double lean-to. Now above me, you can see that I've got two beams running between these trees, one on the back side and one on the front side. That creates a gap in the center. Now what I'm going to do, I've already built the first half of the double lean-to. Next I'm going to build the other half, and once I build a fire pit in the center, the smoke will rise up through that gap. Now since this is a long-term shelter, I did put some plastic in the back. And you can see it through here. So I'll put the plastic over top of the beams, and then I'll put debris over top of that. Now if you don't have plastic, you'll have to build up more debris on the back to make it waterproof. I built the bed here. Now this will keep me up off the ground. Now I did clear away the snow as best I could. We had about 2 foot of snow here. And now we do have permafrost underneath, so about 3 or 4 inches of permafrost, so the ground is frozen and cold. So what this is going to do is it's going to keep me up off the ground and keep me from getting cold from underneath. And what I'm going to do is I'll take the pine boughs and I'm going to lay them on top of here. Now I'm going to pull out all the large branches off the pine boughs and put them on here so it'll make it softer. I don't want the big heavy sticks in there. Obviously it'd be uncomfortable. And then if it gets super cold, what I can do is from my fire, I can take the heated rocks and I can put them up underneath here. It'll give me warm air coming up from the bottom. These just have to be strong enough, obviously, to hold your weight. Put stakes in the ground to keep them held back. And then I'll put another rail along the top here that'll keep all the pine boughs in and it'll keep me from rolling out while I'm sleeping. Underneath these beams here, I do have some braces on the side here. That is for extra support, because if it does snow on here, we're going to have a lot of weight. So with all these branches and the snow and the pine boughs or the debris on top is going to give a lot of weight. So I've gone ahead and put these in here for extra support. Now you may not need them, but I'd hate for this thing to come crashing down on me in the middle of the night. This shelter is larger than you would need for a quick survival situation. I plan on using this shelter for quite some time, so I'm going to make it bigger so that I'll be comfortable in it. I'm going to have my bed, I'm going to have a fire, and then on the other side I'm going to have a place for my gear and firewood and anything else I need. And then if I have a company, they'll have plenty of room too. And then of course this is probably about an 8 or 9 foot stretch in between these two trees, so that gives me plenty of room. I think that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and start working on the other side of this lean-to. Once I'm done, I'll shoot some more videos. So I've mostly completed my double lean-to Alpine shelter. As you can see, the front side I've got logs running across the bottom here, and then I've woven in pine boughs on the top. On the back side, I've done pine boughs entirely across the back, just so you can see that you can do it 2 different ways. Now when you're choosing a shelter location, it's pretty important to see if there's any dead trees in the area that might fall on top of you. And when we go around here, I'll show you there's a big log along the bottom, and the only reason it's there because there was a big pine tree that was dead, and you don't want anything like that around your camp. In a normal survival situation, you would probably choose a different location, but because this is going to be my main camp, I went ahead and cut it down and just put it along the bottom here to use as a seat. But what makes this as an Alpine shelter, double lean-to, is along the top there's a gap in the opening, so when I have a fire inside, the smoke will rise up out of it and it'll keep me warm in cold weather. And then to complete this, I will build some sort of door, or you can use a tarp or whatever you've got to block this up. But I've got a tarp, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Let me take you on a quick tour. There's that big log I was talking about. On the bottom we have the logs, and they're pinned up with those stakes in the ground. And this side we do have debris from the trees I cut down. Now I do have plastic underneath there. If I didn't have plastic, I would be more careful about how I place those branches to make this more waterproof. But because I have plastic on there, it's more for camouflage and insulation. On this side you can see that I just have the pine boughs woven through. I still do need to fill up a few spots. Back to the other side. Now on the inside, this is the side I started with. You can see that I have those pine logs pretty close together, and there is plastic over the top of them, so that makes it waterproof. And on this side, so you could see that a different option, you can space them a little bit further apart. And then we got the opening on the top for smoke to go through. Now the bed here, you can see that's a few inches up off the ground. That's so that I can take hot stones from the fire and place them underneath to keep me warm at night when it's really cold. And then I've got these branches running clear across, and then softer pine boughs on top. Now I went ahead and I pulled the little pieces of the pine boughs off, so it makes that a lot more comfortable. Now the ground was frozen. We have about 3 inches of permafrost. That cold will radiate up, so if you just slept straight on the ground, you're going to get cold. So that's another reason you keep this up off the ground. For my fire pit, I did put rocks along here. Now these rocks will help radiate the heat back towards me. And obviously I can't get a raging fire in here because of the logs that are up above here. Sorry, because of the plastic and the pine boughs up above me. If you got it too high, it would catch out on fire. So you just keep a low fire that's going to keep you warm enough at night. And right now I just have a basic fire pit. In a really cold environment, I would do a full-length body fire that would stretch this entire length, so I would have heat generated across this entire location. But for right now, the ground is really frozen, so it's hard to dig, so I'm just building the fire. I'm letting it defrost the ground, and then as it defrosts, I'll go ahead and dig out what I can. That's my double lean-to. Hope you enjoyed watching. Stay tuned for more from me out here in Colorado.